Hey guys, it's Melanie. Happy Friday. Welcome back to another weekly Beauty Chit Chat, Friday faves, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, hope you guys had a fantastic week. I've had a pretty good week myself. I am once again looking forward to the weekend. This weekend, Stella and I are doing a little girls trip up to my mom's house, and we're gonna spend some time with my mama and my brother and his wife, and we're gonna do some fun stuff this weekend, so I'm really looking forward to it. I hope that you have some fun plans for yourselves as well. I have my usual favorites and a little bit of a meh to share with you as well, so I'll save the meh for the end. But let's start off with things that are positive. As always, I will link everything that I'm talking about in the description box right below this video. So if you want to know where to purchase these things, how much they cost, other people's reviews, ingredients, things like that, check out the description box. I always put links down there. Okay, we're gonna get started with the perfume pick of the week. And it's actually two. And they are both from Ariana Grande. This is the duo of the Maud Blush and the Maud Vanilla that I purchased at Ulta. I actually already officially reviewed this perfume. If you missed that in-depth deep dive into these fragrances, I will link that video down below. But what I've been doing this week with the blush and the vanilla is I have been layering them. And this is something that I do quite frequently with a lot of my perfumes. If I'm craving like something new or different, sometimes instead of going out and purchasing a new fragrance, what I will do is take two of my favorite fragrances that I think have some complementary notes, and I layer them on top of each other, and I come up with a completely new, different, fun fragrance, and I love that. So with this one, I like to do the blush first. The blush is the more, well, it is the floral fragrance out of the two. This is kind of a soft, like powdery, like pink floral, like it's very feminine, very, this smells very, very girly to me for sure. And it's great on its own. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, if you are just interested in a great, like fresh, spring, fun, feminine floral, pick this up. However, if you are like me and you love you some gourmands, the vanilla is so delicious, you guys. This on its own, absolutely heavenly. Very simple, yummy, definitely gourmand, definitely delicious. Not quite as sweet as, say, something like the Contour Sud Pacifique Vanilla Extreme. Not quite that sweet, but heading in that direction for sure. So layering this on top of that blush fragrance, it makes the floral a little bit sweeter and kind of almost mellows it out even more. Oh, it's just so good. I love these two together. For me, this is kind of like when I started mixing the Elizabeth and James, we're going back in time now, Elizabeth and James Nirvana Black and White. I think both of those fragrances are fabulous in their own right, but when you mix them together, it's like they were just meant to be used together. So that's kind of how I feel about this duo here. When I first talked about these, I don't think I really talked about the longevity of the fragrance. So I definitely get probably pretty average perfume wear out of this. I do think after about 4 to 5 hours, like I really stop noticing the fragrance at that point. Now I have asked Craig, you know, like, hey, can you still smell my perfume after about 4 or 5 hours? And he's like, yeah, I can smell it. So I think that I might become a little bit nose blind to it, but I think that it still lingers a little bit after that point. But definitely for me, I am someone who likes a stronger presence to her personal fragrance. So for me, I tend to want to reapply after about 4 or 5 hours. So take that for what it's worth. I think it just kind of depends on your personal preference in terms of how long you want the fragrance to be, but Craig could still smell it. Oh, these are so good together, you guys. So this duo is available at Ulta. Again, I will link it down below, but you can purchase both of these fragrances separately. I don't know that I would necessarily repurchase the blush in the future, but I do know that in terms of like my vanilla collection, this is one where I would probably immediately go and purchase like the full size, because these two in this set are 1 ounce, and I think there are, I can't remember if there are different sizes available. From what I recall, when this was first released, I saw either the option of this duo or I saw a 3.4 ounce option. She may have come out with like a 1.7 ounce at this point, but don't quote me on that. So anyway, love both of these. If you are in the market for something fun and new in terms of personal fragrance, totally worth checking out. Also, I hope you can't hear the leaf blower. Of course, there are no leaves. What are they blowing? It is January. There are no leaves left here in Oregon. All right, let's move on to hair. All right, so I have a product that I received through the Skeepers website, formerly Octoly, and this is a influencer platform. I hate that term, influencer, but it's a platform basically where people who have social media that review products can go and apply to different companies and say that they would like to review their products, and then if the company, you know, looks at your stuff and they're like, sure, they will send you the product to be able to try. So the thing that I've always appreciated about Octoly and now Skeepers is they don't require a positive review. They just require that you review the product, and whatever your opinion is your opinion. So you are allowed to be entitled to it. So there's usually not a ton of stuff that I'm interested on that particular website because a lot of it isn't cruelty free. However, this brand, Cabela, is. So I applied to Cabela to be able to review this product. They were like, sure, they sent it out for free. So I'm giving you guys my opinion. This is their teasing powder, or a volumizing root powder. And I love stuff like this because I have fine, thin hair. And my hair just on its own does not have any texture. Do you see how straight this is? This is not because I went through it with a hair straightener. It is because I have fine, thin baby hair. I do think that I have a decent amount of fine, thin hair, but you know, like hair like this, basically, if you do not put product in it, it just, like, you look like a drowned rat, right? So I like to put things in my hair, especially these like root lifting or volumizing powders. I have tried many. Now, oftentimes a lot of them can make your hair feel really sticky and kind of dirty, gross. What I appreciate about this one, and I'm gonna actually put it in my hair because I haven't put it in my hair today. What I appreciate about this one is it gives me that grip and that little bit of texture at the root to give me just that lift that I'm looking for, but my hair is not left feeling gross and sticky. Like if you've used these powders before and you have either over applied or you have one that no matter how sparingly you put it on, it still gets really gunky, this does not do that. So the format of this, I believe this is like, I think this is all like metal, so this seems pretty easy to recycle when I'm done with it, which is nice. I always like when companies take into consideration the like after you're done with it fact. So this, I think I can very easily recycle. This little plastic piece here I can pop off, and then I should just be able to put this in my recycling bin. But so you have this opening here, right? Now what you do to apply this is you part your hair. So I have my part here, and you literally just sprinkle, and not a lot comes out, which is what you want. You don't want a ton of product. So you get that sprinkled throughout your roots, and then you just kind of massage it in to your scalp. Now, one thing I will say, when you use a product like this, really make sure that when you are washing your hair the next day or the day, whenever you wash your hair. I realize there are people that don't wash their hair every single day like I do, but really make sure that you are like getting in at your scalp and maybe doing a deep cleanse, especially if you use this on a weekly basis or like a daily type basis. At least once a week, use a clarifying shampoo, because this, you are kind of working this into your scalp, and you don't want your scalp to like get all clogged and kind of gross. But do you see how just that little tiny bit gave me that lift here? So I'm gonna take a section over here, and you can literally just do this like section by section. Okay, I'm using my left hand, which I'm not as coordinated with here. Okay. So I'm just gonna work that into my roots a little bit here. Put this hair over top. And then look at that, like just that, I put kind of a heavy layer of hair over top, but then you can also go through and just add a little more. And then you're gonna get that nice texture and lift and oomph. I do have a little bit of it floating around the room now, so hopefully you can't see that on camera. But do you see that? Like it just takes your hair and like, whoop, like you can move it up and like it stays. Now this is a little too messy for my liking here. We're gonna have to go with it because I'm not gonna be able to redo my hair at this point. But yeah, like this would be very easy to style, and yeah, when I touch it, like it just doesn't feel gross. Like even when I like put my fingers, like rub my fingers, like I can tell there's some type of product on there. It's not nearly as sticky as some of the other ones that I've used. So I really like this. And I've never tried anything from this particular brand, but I certainly am interested in trying more, especially since they're cruelty-free. So I'll put a link to where you can purchase this in the description box right below this video. So check that out if you're in the market. Another hair care item I wanted to mention is, so I finished all of my other growth serums that I had in my like current stash of hair products. And I went back to this. Now last year I purchased 2 of these bottles when Ulta was having sale on Virtue products, to be able to have like a few months, because this lasts quite a while, to be able to have like a few months worth of use out of the Virtue Flourish Density Booster. This is supposed to stimulate, strengthen, and thicken the hair. And this product is fantastic because unlike a lot of my other growth serums, like those have the droppers, which are fine, not a big deal. But I love the convenience of a spray. So this is a growth factor, or not a growth factor, this is a hair growth promoting, scalp health promoting product that you can actually just spray in your hair. I like that. What I also like about this one is it adds like a little bit of a styling product. It does give me a little bit of oomph, at least at the roots. It definitely helps to give me that little bit of lift that I'm looking for. Now I do still go in with my other styling products, but I've already gone through 1 bottle of this, and I do think that it definitely helps with the overall health of your scalp. And I think that's what a lot of these like growth products are doing, is they're making sure that your scalp is hydrated, that you know, it's helping with things like dryness or dandruff. So, you know, these types of products, you have to use them for a little while to really start seeing the results. But I've really come to believe in these different like growth type products that are coming on the market. They really do work. All the ones that I've used have definitely helped to promote some growth, and I really focus them like around my hairline, and I always have tons of new growth hair. Like these are all like baby hairs, and luckily now they're getting nice and long for sure. Like in the beginning, a lot of the hair was just like pink, 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 you know, like after I had my daughter. Most of you who've been pregnant know about the like postpartum hair loss. And then your hair grows back eventually, and you just have these little like baby hairs sticking out all over the place. I definitely had that for a long time when I started using these growth type products, but now they're getting longer, and I just feel like they keep my scalp at like an optimum health. Like my scalp is never dry or tight or itchy, even though I wash my hair every single day. But I do talk about investing in really good quality hair care products. I do think it makes a difference. I don't think you have to spend a fortune on hair care at all. I don't want to imply that, but for me, like I've just found certain products that work really well, and that Virtue hair care line is everything I've ever tried from them is absolutely fabulous. Highly, highly recommend. Leaf man. I really hope you guys can't hear that. So anyway, love that. Give it a go. All right, let's talk a few makeup items here. All right, so actually I should say another favorite from this week, I should have mentioned this first. I got my brows touched up on Monday. So today's really kind of my first day like really wearing like at least face makeup again. Like I've been doing some eye makeup throughout the week, but really have tried to keep the brow area very clear. I am currently in the like shedding molting stage of the micro shading healing process. If you are new here, my brows are in fact tattooed or micro shaded onto my face. I had not had a touch up since the middle of 2019. And so I had noticed that they started to fade a little bit. So I was able to get in pretty quickly with my tattoo artist and she fixed them up and I love them. This woman is magic. If you guys want another like micro shading, like long-term micro shading experience video, let me know, because I've had these brows for quite some time now and it really for me was the best possible decision because I over plucked my brows in the early 90s when I was in middle school and high school, and the follicles basically were just like, we're not ever growing back. So you cannot have brow hair anymore. Now I do have some brow hair, but not enough to create this type of brow look, let me tell you. So anyway, let me know if you want a video on that, but it's definitely a favorite of this week. I love waking up with eyebrows. It's so novel to me because for many years of my life, I did not have eyebrows. And drawing them on every single day, huge pain in the ass, right? Like, ugh, such a nightmare. Anyway, let's talk some makeup. Okay, eye makeup this week. I have really enjoyed using my old, because I've had these for quite some time, Smashbox Cover Shop palettes. During the month of December, I was really focusing on the matte eyeshadow palette, so this one here. But this past week and a little bit of last week as well, I was using the minimalist eye palette, and these look like really small eyeshadow palettes. They kind of are, right? So they're great for travel. This one here is kind of interesting because there's essentially two quads, one more neutral, one a little bit warmer. I definitely prefer this side of the quad, and this is mostly what I've been working with this week. It's what I have on my eyes now, and I love these. I think they're 29 bucks, so they're pretty darn affordable in terms of a high-end eyeshadow palette. The pans are small, but when are you ever going to use an entire eyeshadow palette? Most of us, we have several, at least a couple of eyeshadow palettes. And if you're using them consistently, it's still gonna take you a very long time to get through that palette. So don't necessarily look at the size and think, there's no value there. These are great. Again, they travel really well. They have essentially two quads in them, and they're all like perfectly like coordinated, I feel like. All of them. Like, here's the matte palette. You can see here again, you've got like two different quads essentially. One that is a little bit more cool toned and one that is a little bit more, I would say, neutral toned on this side. They're just fabulous. They're so good. Oh, I almost rolled over the dog. He's right behind me. Anyway, some other eyeshadows that I've been playing with this week that are quite old in my collection, but I just decided to grab them. These Nars, do they still make these? I stopped purchasing from Nars because they stopped being cruelty free. But these are the dual intensity eyeshadows. Does Nars even still make these? I don't know. I have nothing to do with Nars anymore, so I'm not sure. Anyway, but I love these back in the day, and so I decided to get them out. They're basically shimmer shadows, and ironically enough, I'm not wearing one today. I'm wearing a shimmer from the palette that I showed you, but so I have Dione or Dione. I have Himalaya or Himalaya, whatever you want to say. This is Himalaya here. The first one I showed you was Dione, and this is Rigel. Rigel is really pretty too. This is kind of like a rosy, like a pinky rosy shade. Oh, these are so gorgeous, aren't they? So pretty. Anyway, I like to apply these with my fingers, and since I still have them in my collection, I'm still gonna use them. So I'm actually getting ready to completely change out my everyday makeup drawer. I haven't done that in quite some time, so those are definitely going in for some use over the course of the next couple of months or so. All right, blush. Digging into my blush pile and getting out some blushes I haven't used in a while, and this week opted for Aura from Lorac. These are the Color Source, I think they're called Color Source buildable blushes. Lorac used to be one of like my favorite brands. I feel like they're not really like talked about much here on YouTube anymore. They're still available through Ulta, but online, you used to be able to buy this stuff in store. At least my stores are not carrying Lorac anymore, but I can still order from online. So Aura is a beautiful matte pinky shade with just a touch of mauve in it, and it's the blush I'm wearing today. I like this one because it really is super buildable. So today I went for kind of in between a bolder blush look and like a very light natural blush look, and I really like how I can play with this one and decide exactly like how intense to make it, and it's not hard to build it up. So in that way, it does require a slightly more careful application. But if you do your makeup every day and you have a pretty good hand when it comes to applying product, you kind of know, like, you know, take a lighter hand with this one. So, but anyway, it's fabulous. And then lips, I've been going for my Fenty glosses again. I'm either on a lipstick train or a gloss train. Sometimes I'm on a lipstick and gloss train, but the train that is currently moving down the track is the gloss train. And so Fussy was my choice for this week. This is what I have on my lips right now. It's really, really pretty. These gloss bombs are super hydrating. They smell good. They last a decent amount of time. They're thick, but they're not too thick. They're just not an uncomfortable gloss to wear. They're just really delightful. I love them. Highly recommend. And then my Met product. Okay, this one needs to come with a little bit of an explanation because I do not believe that Wella is a cruelty-free product. So I ended up with this Wella Bounce Boost 72-hour Nutra Curls Curl Enhancing Mousse the last time that Stella got a haircut. So we went to what I think is just a local chain of hair places near our house. And Stella got a wolf cut. This was in, I think she did this back in like, I don't know, it was probably October. But when we were there, I don't know if they were like having some kind of competition at that hair salon for selling products, but after Stella was done with the haircut, we walked over to pay, and the lady was like, oh, you should definitely get some product for this hairdo because it's, you know, in order for it to look like how it does in the pictures that she showed me, she's going to need some product, and she recommended mousse. And I was like, oh, I have a ton of mousse at home, you know, I am the mousse girl. And she was like, oh, I really want to show you this mousse because I think this is the perfect one for her. And I was like, oh no, you know, I think I got it. And she was like, really, this is going to be so fabulous for her. And so I kind of got the vibe that like she needed to sell a product and nothing that they offered was cruelty free. And so I was just like, and it kind of got uncomfortable. And normally I do not allow people to pressure me into purchasing things, but she was very sweet and she did such a good job on Stella's hair. And Stella was so excited about her haircut. And I was just kind of like, fine. So she recommended this mousse and I was like, this is a curl enhancing mousse. Stella's hair is like mine. And I was like, I think, do you have something that's maybe geared more towards just like fine, thin, limp hair? Like, do you have the thickening mousse? And she was like, no, this is the one, I promise. Like, this is the one that she needs to get this hair looking fantastic. And I was like, okay, give me the mousse. So I bought the mousse. It turns out Stella doesn't care about mousse. She ended up not wanting to style her hair at all. So it looks nothing like the haircut in the picture, but you know, she's working it in her home. It's fine, whatever. Anyway, so I ended up with this mousse because Stella was like, I don't want to use this. So I've been using it. This is not really the world's greatest mousse. I do think it adds a little bit of like volume and texture in my hair, but it's almost like I'm not using a mousse. The amount of volume that I get is so minimal that it makes it not really worthwhile. And then I also have to add like a couple different types of thickening sprays to really get the oomph that I want. So it's a little bit of a bummer. So today, for example, I'm using the Kenra mousse, and that just gives me, it's a thickening mousse, so it really does make my hair feel a lot thicker. This just does not. I really think this is designed for curly hair. If you are a hairstylist, you're probably like, yeah, why would she recommend that? It is designed for curly hair. We do not have curly hair. This does not help my hair hold a curl either. I used my Dyson Airwrap with this one day and didn't help to hold a curl either. So anyway, 10 out of 10 would probably not recommend if you don't have curly hair. Also, it's not cruelty free. So That being said, I'll probably still trudge my way through it because I don't believe in throwing things away, and I don't know anyone that would want this. So I'm gonna finish it. It does smell good. I will say it smells good. So for that, I'll have great smelling hair, but am I sitting here all day going, no, not really. So it'll be an enjoyable experience while I'm using it, and then I will just pile the other products on top, but probably wouldn't recommend that. So anyway, that's it. You guys have a great rest of your Friday. Have a great rest of your weekend. There is some home fragrance content coming up this weekend, so if you're interested, please make sure you're subscribed. Otherwise, I appreciate you taking the time to be here. If you found this video helpful at all, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Toodles.